Janie with Cerberus, and yesterday I had the most magnificent question posed to me because I realized its confusion. And oh, camellias are starting to bloom. And the question was, if I'm a hobby breeder, I can't take deductions. Oh, welcome to taxes. Let's talk about that. All right, so the one thing that you will learn about taxes, and before I get into it, let me give you my cursory disclaimer. This is tax information. It is not tax advice because I am not, in fact, privy to your tax situation, and I don't want it to be relied upon. And I'm not showing the dogs with everybody's puppy. But let's talk about that. So they said, well, I'm not a commercial breeder, I'm a hobby breeder, so I report hobby income. Okay, so let's talk about taxes a little bit and how it distorts things because somebody sits in a dark room and makes things complicated. You say you're head of the household, that doesn't mean you run the house. That means you're saying you're with a qualifying dependent. If you say you're the custodial parent, doesn't matter what the judge said. It matters how many number of nights. Are y'all following me yet? So let's talk about that. So, hobby breeder is a term for the breeder matrix. If you don't know what that is, you need to. For those of you who are watching this, I bet you do. So I'm a hobby breeder, gracing into 50% reputable. That is a compliment, quite frankly, but for tax purposes, I'm a Schedule C. That's business income. And so you have two choices, not three. If you followed me long enough, you know what I'm about to say. You either are a business or you're a hobby income. And the third one of not reporting is not an option. Okay, good. So we're going to get back to that. So the thing that you have, so hobby breeder, if you're a hobby breeder, that's a compliment to you. But that doesn't mean your hobby income for tax purposes. So, and you know the matrix. And honestly, quite frankly, and I will say this, my husband's in fact and in form the breeder, we do a Schedule C. Schedule C, when I say that and people mistake what Schedule C or business income, when you don't, they feel that you don't have an LLC, you don't have an EIN, all that you're not a business. Yes, you are. I did a lot of IRS representation. People mistake that constantly. So don't think that because you don't have brick and mortar, you could be selling clothes from thrift store on eBay and making your money. Yeah, you're a business, okay? So, again, welcome to taxes. If you're not confused, you're not doing it right. So, now that we've got that out of the way, and let me just kind of restate and recap. Hobby breeder is a breeder world term. It's not, because they don't have backyard breeder income. You follow? Meaning that's not how that works. So, don't confuse breeder world terms with tax terms. And honestly, I am for profit, and I make more in 1 litter than a backyard breeder makes in 3. So, so there is IRS from somebody who has defended many possessions could say you're doing it for hobby, but there is an economic advantage for me help testing or titling or pedigreeing or keeping it expensive because I incur less cost on the back end. You're popping out a bunch of crap off, you're going to incur costs. So how about there's your argument there if my IRS agent friends are following. So, yeah, because my dogs don't come back, I don't have the headaches and I don't incur the costs. So there is an advantage to being an elevated breeder. Fair enough? Great. So let's talk about the final question. All right, and remember that this is not a matter of convenience. Either you are or you are not. Meaning you can't say, well, this year I do better being a hobby income and next year I'll be, no. Doesn't work that way. Either you are in for profit or you are not, okay? Don't mistake that. if you're following this thing, I suspect you want to do it right. And I'm not saying that what I'm saying to you is right or your interpretation of my position. But we are trademark, we are EIN, we have cards, everything, and we have the intention of a profit. And generally, we pay taxes and self-employment taxes. This year, we had a loss. We had a false pregnancy. But it was for the intention, and this is the first year we didn't. You see where the IRS is going? Yeah, they are arbitrary, but there is a common thing or theme. And what is it? Is that, no, I'm not a puppy mill. I'm not a commercial breeder, but yeah, I'm doing it for a profit. We do make a profit. We make a great profit because when we do it, we are very efficient about it. So I hope that helps clear up the terms. If you are generally your first litter and you haven't set up a kennel, because most of us have been there. I started out, it was hobby income because you're starting out, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know if you're good at this. So I did start out as hobby income. And I'm not suggesting you have to be that way. I'm saying that it is not abnormal for me to see. One other final note. State revenue departments do scour ads, and adoption fee is fooling no one. If you ask me a question about taxes, I'm going to be above board. I'm the most above board breeder there is. I finished filing a 1099 NEC yesterday because I pay taxes. So in my world, I'm rather absolute. So if you ask me a question, I'm going to tell you the answer as I see it and as I practice it. So if you want to know how the tax world works, how about that is my definition of those concepts. So kind of recap. Hobby breeder is a compliment to you. Hobby income is not the same thing. Thanks so much from Cerberus.